How do we apply positive discipline in everyday parenting? Today, we're uncovering the secret to positive discipline without guilt. Let's walk through the ways you can guide your children while keeping your sanity. These 4 steps will help you to set appropriate limits without guilt so that both you and your child can feel good about it. The first step, obviously, is to define positive discipline. Positive discipline is all about respect and understanding. It's really more about connection than it is about control. And it's about teaching rather than punishing. Also, when I go back to my behavioral psychology roots, as a professional psychologist, I learned back in graduate school that positive discipline is about applying something and negative discipline is about taking something away. I think that that can be a useful idea as well as we think about actually proactively moving forward with something. And we're trying to contribute something to our kids, not take something away. I think it's a trap sometimes as parents that we think of discipline as removing privileges, and sometimes we do that. That's a more negative discipline kind of an approach. Positive discipline is about giving them something, a learning experience. And just framing it that way sometimes helps us to approach it with an energy that is much more positive. The second step here is to set clear, effective boundaries. I learned early on in my career that there are 2 things that give us authority as a parent. Number 1, to set and enforce appropriate limits, and number 2, to be seen as a provider of good times and good things. When we have both of those elements, we actually have authority with our children. Boundaries that are clear but not harsh help our children to feel secure and safe within the world where they exist. You know, I grew up in an agricultural community, and right outside of our home were 2 fields, one to the south of our house and one behind our house out back. And these fields had cows in them. And I remember times when my neighbor would put a new cow into the field. They just brought it in from somewhere else. And that cow would go all the way around that field, pushing up against the fence with its head or leaning into the fence, looking for a hole. And if there was a hole in the fence, the cow would go through the hole just because it could. And it didn't even care if there was a canal or a road on the other side of that. It just wanted to test the fence, right? Well, after it went around the whole fence line, it would then very contentedly just kind of do its cow thing out there in the field, chewing its cud, grazing, whatever cows do. And it occurred to me that that's really similar to what kids do. Sometimes you'll put up a limit and the first thing they want to do is bump up against that fence. Just test that limit, see if it's going to hold. And once they find out that that limit is firm, that limit will hold, then they're content to live within the boundaries that you've created for them. I think this gets back to basic child psychology, where children know at some subconscious level that they are vulnerable and they are helpless, really, to meet their own needs out there in the world. The big people around them represent their access to safety and security and resources and everything that they need. And they're going to test the limits to see if the big people in their world are strong enough to keep them safe. When you think about it along those lines, it becomes even more important to set clear, firm, and kind boundaries with our children so that they can live safely within those. They don't have to worry about the big scary world out there because the big people in their life have got their back. Step number 3, use empathy, not anger. It probably would be helpful to define empathy here. I like to look at 2 aspects. It's understanding and caring. how someone else feels. So when our children run up against one of the boundaries that we've set, let's say that they break a rule in your home, they will have a consequence for that. These are natural consequences. Every choice has a consequence. The better your choices, the better your consequences. Well, your kids are going to learn that through your discipline, through your positive discipline. But when they get a consequence, are they happy about it? Not if it's a negative consequence, not if it's something that they didn't want to have happen, but it's a natural result of their choice. Well, parents, in having empathy, understand and care how their children feel. And sometimes that tips us over the edge of rescuing our children, because it's somewhere in our heart we don't want them to have that consequence. We want them to just behave so that they don't have to have consequences. Well, they're still learning that process, so they're going to have consequences from time to time. As parents, sometimes we express anger instead of empathy, because that allows us to bail them out. So we bawl them out and bail them out. It's like we yell at them. We do the old 3 R's of parenting: rant, rave, and rescue. And it teaches our children that the consequences aren't really going to happen as long as you can just put up with a little bit of my anger. When we go to empathy, we allow our children to have the consequence, which is uncomfortable for us as parents because we really don't want to see them uncomfortable. But it's kind of selfish to bail them out just to take care of our own feelings. Use empathy rather than anger. Now let's get to that last one. Focus on growth, not perfection. If you think about your own childhood for a minute, you might be able to relate to this. There are times when children just feel that nothing they could do could ever satisfy their parents. Why? Because their parents are always focused on what you could do better, right? Perfection. That's not a doable goal. It's kind of like me saying, hey, run to the horizon as fast as you can. Could you do that? No. Why? Because the horizon is not a real place. It's a concept. It's a perception, but you can't go there. It keeps moving out in front of you. Perfection is the same way. If we focus on perfection and everything that our kids could be doing better, it's going to feel like they're chasing the horizon. And it will be very frustrating to them, and it's going to cause friction in the relationship as well. So focus on growth, the distance that they've come already. What have they already accomplished? What are they doing well? As your focus shifts to that, it reinforces the good moves that your kids are making and actually increases their motivation to keep moving forward. Was this helpful? There's more where that came from. Go to the next video. I've got some positive parenting solutions for you. In that next video, we'll talk about 5 tips for a peaceful mind. Could you use one of those? Well, that's coming up next. Cue up that video next. I'll see you there.